Hey y'all, I noticed some of you were having trouble with part 8, the hedge maze, so I wanted to film a quick tutorial, just working through this round a little bit. I know the pictures are a little bit darker here as my yarn transitioned from this nice bright yellow to purple, so I thought I'd show you really quickly exactly where these stitches go. It gets a little tricky because in round 74 and 75 on through the end of the round, we're turning it, so it makes it a little bit harder to find your stitch placement. So I thought if I show you slowly one part of each repeat, then it might make it a little bit easier for you. So I've worked up, I don't have a sample quite of this size, but I worked a project up in the round just to kind of show you. So I've already added, ignore the bottom, that's just a few rows of double crochets just to get something to hold on to. But I've worked up round 72 for you already, so that's 13 third loop half double crochets with a chain one, skip one, and then 6 third loop half double crochets, chain one, skip one twice. So you can see that here. I have it on my hook. This is my join, so you won't have that quite so noticeable on yours because it'll be working into your pattern already. But here I have 13 third loop half double crochets. There's my chain one, skip one, 6, another chain, 6, and another chain. So we're going to pick it up with round 73, and if we just look at the pattern here, so we're going to chain one, do 13 half double crochets right into the 13 half double crochets we did before. So this round we are not turning, so I'm going to chain one up. I've already done that, and I'm going to work right into this first stitch right here. I always start my crochet patterns in that first section there. I know some people will prefer to skip that and move in here, but just to keep it all uniform, that's where I put it. And that is important in this round, especially with the turn, because if you don't put it right in that first stitch, it might shift your piece over by one stitch. So let me just take a moment here and get 13 half double crochets. Okay, so since we haven't turned it, I want you to notice our stitch placement in this round as normal. So if you look, it almost shifts up to the right. Now this is important for when we're turning. I want you to see the difference, but for now, since we haven't turned it, that's okay. So we can double check and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So then the next step is to do a third loop double crochet into the skipped stitch from the previous round. So it's telling us to go right back here into that third loop. So I'm going to loop over, go over the chain, and do a third loop right in the back. Since I'm working behind my camera, I can't see it very well, so I'm going to pull it back just so I can get it in the right spot for you guys. Okay, sorry about that. So there we have it. It's in the third loop of row 73, or sorry, excuse me, row 72. And then we're going to do a double crochet. So then it does say to skip one stitch behind. That's just skipping that chain space that you had made in the last round, round 72. And this is very much like how you would work in mosaic crochet. So we're just skipping that chain right here, and we're going to work into this stitch next. So again, it's kind of tilting to the right for right now. I don't know, again, if you can see that, it's kind of diagonaling, not quite a 45, it's like only like 15 degrees off to the right. And you can confirm that you've done it correctly by rotating your work. There you have that one stitch there that's open. That's the chain that I skipped. Let's go back to the working side or the right side. And now it says we need 6 half double crochets. Oops. So I've already done 1, here's 2. And 6, whoops. And again we have, oops, my yarn is shredding a little bit. We have another chain space here, so we're going to add our third loop double crochet here. Let's see if I can do it not looking at my hands. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to pull this aside. Again, I'm going to skip my chain, but I want to work into my half double crochet. So we're going to place our next stitch right here. Now, the reason why we're going to be turning in the next few rounds is if we continue working in the round without rotating our work, instead of getting nice straight bars for our hedge maze, it would start showing that slight diagonal tilt. So to combat that, that's why we're going to be turning it. So I'm just going to quickly finish going around in my little sample piece so that you can see the nice effect that we're going to get here. So it's, again, it's 13 half double crochet, front loop double crochet, or sorry, third loop double crochet, 6 half double crochet, and on and on. Okay, so I've just finished up round 73 on my little sample here. So just to refresh, we have 13 half double crochets, a third loop double crochet, 6 half double crochet, another third loop double crochet, and 6 half double crochet, and a third loop double crochet again. So I've done that a few times, and you can kind of start to see our pattern here where we have one long open section, a horizontal, or sorry, a vertical bar, and then 2 smaller sections separated by bars. So there's our repeat. And now we can start back up with round 74. So this round we're going to start with our turn sections, and you'll see the note here that because this round is turned, we're going to change up how we've been doing our third loops, and I'll show you that here in just a moment. Also, I have to say, if you hear very loud winds, my house in Central Texas is currently on a tornado warning, so it might just be my house blowing down. No, we're all safe, but if it gets loud on the recording, I'm sorry about that. So we're gonna start the round with a chain 1, and then I'm gonna turn my work. So now we're working from the back side of our project, and I think this is the round that was really tripping everybody up. So right from the get-go, again, I always start working in whatever the first stitch is. So in this case, this is actually our joining slip stitch, which maybe isn't a normal technique, but that's just how I've always done it. I feel like it keeps it a little bit more uniform. Of course, you might have a personal style, but in this case, it's very important that we start out our first stitch right here in our slip stitch. So our first direction says half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So we'll do that, half double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to skip our next. Then it says half double crochet and 3 third loop half double crochets. So we're going to do, there's our skip 1, we'll do 1 regular half double crochet, and now we're going to do 3 third loop half double crochets. So on a normal round we would be working from behind, but because we've turned, now our third loop is actually right here underneath on the bottom. So I'm going to yarn over. I like to go from underneath the bottom. I don't know if there's different ways to do this, but that's just how I like to do it. The main thing is that it separates this bottom bar and pushes that top V forward. So there's 1 third loop half double crochet. Bring it a little closer so you can see it. 2 and 3. Oops. So then next in the pattern it says chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 twice. So we'll do our chain 1, skip 1. Now this part's not of the repeat, but so there's 1 chain, half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and it said to do it twice, ending with a chain 1, skip 1. So now we're here in our pattern. So 3 third loop half double crochets again. So we're going to skip 1, and that's this bar right here. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So now we are at half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 twice. oops, excuse me, half double crochet, chain one, skip one, half double crochet, chain one and skip one. So if you can kind of see the difference between our two half double crochets, so the ones in the third loop have this little like curvy rainbow kind of shape, and then our regular half double crochets still show that third loop horizontal bar. So if you get stuck on your counts, you can at least distinguish those two stitches from each other. So let's check in our pattern. Now we have 3 third loop half double crochets again. So we're chain one, skip one, 3 third loop half double crochets. One, 2, and 3. Then the next step is half double crochet, increase, half double crochet. So we're not skipping anything here, but we are doing regular half double crochets. So there's one. Here's our increase, so it's 2 in 1 stitch, 1 and 2, and another half double crochet. Now we're at 3 third loop half double crochets. Still again, no skip, so this is going to be, what is that, 10 stitches all together in a little cluster, I guess we'll say. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3 third loop half double crochets, half double crochet increase, half double crochet, and 3 third loops. So there's a total of 3, 7, 10 stitches right here. So we've done this and this. Now we're on chain one, skip one, and that is the end of our repeat. So I've just completed round 74. I ended that round with a chain one, skip one, and a slip stitch into this first half double crochet. So round 75 starts with a chain one and a turn, and this is where it's going to start feeling a little bit funny, and why I was really pointing out how when we work in the round it starts shifting to the right. Well, now that we have turned it, everything is going to start to shift placement to the left. So you'll see what I mean right as soon as we get started. So just looking at our piece here, we have our chain one here, and this is the top of the stitch for this half double crochet. Had we been working in the round, it would be really easy to think that this is the top of that stitch, but let's turn it around and you'll see like right away that's definitely the top of this stitch, and that is the chain. So if you ever feel like you're getting lost, that's why I recommend turning your piece around, because it gets confusing. So round 75 starts with a double crochet into that skipped half double crochet from round 73. So we're going to go right in here with a double crochet over that chain, and we're going to skip the chain behind the double crochet and into 2 half double crochets. So had we been working in the round, I would really be tempted to put my stitch in right here, but that is actually that chain behind the double crochet that we need to stitch. So my 2 half double crochets are instead going to start right here, shifting to the left. This is going to be the opposite if you're a left-handed crocheter, I think, because you're working backwards. So reverse everything, mirror everything I'm saying. So here next in our stitch it says, or pattern, it says skip 2 stitches and 4 double crochet in each of the next 2. So no chains here, we're just skipping. My yarn is coming up a little bit. So we're going to skip these 2, and now into my increases from the previous round, I'm going to work 4 double crochets into each of those increased stitches. I think if you can get the feeling of shifting everything to the left, the rest of this chapter is going to be a lot easier for you. So there we go. So if you can see from the last round, these are the 2 stitches from my increase. And then next in our pattern, it says skip 2 stitches and 2 half double crochet again, and then we're going to double crochet into the next skipped stitch. So we have 1, 2 that we're skipping. Sorry about that. And so we're skipping 1 and 2, working 1 right here. And again, this is where it's gonna start feeling funny. That looks like it's a chain, but this is the chain. So in order to complete this stitch here, I need to work right up here. And I think this is where a lot of you guys were having a problem. So this is what I mean by flipping it over to confirm that yes, I have worked into my 2 half double crochets, and this right here is my chain. So let's double crochet into that skipped stitch, and we're going to skip that chain behind. So where are we? Let's see, 4 double crochet, yada yada yada, double crochet, and now we're going to skip that chain, half double crochet, and our next stitch into our next chain skip space is a front post double crochet. All right, so here again, I really want to work right there, but I need to push it to the left. So I'm going to put my half double crochet right here. And now I have to work a front post double crochet right here around this guy from the last round. So to confirm, yes, I am skipping that stitch, or that chain, excuse me. So now I can't work here, that's my chain, I have to work right here. So right after my, where are we? Sorry, I'm working behind the camera. After my front post double crochet, we're working 4 half double crochets, and then we're double crocheting into the next skipped stitch. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is it starting to look more like it makes sense? If it wasn't turned, I would really want to work it right there, but I can't because this is that top of that half double crochet. So now it's just a regular double crochet because there is not a double crochet from the last round to work a front post around. And where are we in our pattern? Double crochet, skip stitch, half double crochet, and now we're doing another front post. So we're skipping this chain, I'm working 1 more half double crochet, and I do have a double crochet right here, so I get to do a front post, and I skip 1 right behind, half double crochet. So I'm getting ahead. So we were front post, skip 1, half double crochet, and now we're double crocheting into the next skipped space. So I've already done that half double crochet, double crochet, right here, skip 1, 4 more half double crochets. So again, not to the right, we're going to the left. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but it is really easy to forget midway, and then it will shift it all over, and even shifting it by 1 will really throw off the repeating pattern. Oops, not into the chain space, into my stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and some funny fiber just got worked in for extra decoration. Get that baby out. Okay, we're almost done with this round. So we did our front post, 4 half double crochet. We have another front post because there's that double crochet from the last round. And finally skip 1 and 1 last half double crochet. So we're going to skip 1 more, then end that repeat with 1 more half double crochet. So I'm going to pull this out, and I want to show you the pattern we're making now. Remove this so you can really see it. Okay, so can you see that? Our third loops are making the bottom row of our maze. So here's actually like a maze pathway, if you can see that, and then it cuts up. So we have a pathway going there. You can see it a little bit clearer here. That front post double crochet is making like a long wall, and then this regular half double crochet is making a short wall, and it's connecting to our third loop double crochets. So here we have like a little zip, zip, zip. Oh, it's a dead end, or I don't know how it's gonna end. I do, but you won't know until you build it. So So this section here actually mirrors itself. So we have a tall hedge or a tall front post double crochet, and then a double crochet with a third loop coming out to the right. Same thing here, a shorter wall with a third loop double crochet coming out to the left, and then here in the center, this is the center of our maze, and if you've read ahead to chapter 9, you might know what this shape is starting to form. If you don't, I won't give it away, but it is a teardrop shape, but it's not a teardrop. So I'm gonna keep working on this round. Okay, so let's pick it up with round 76. I just finished up round 75 with one last half double crochet, and I slip stitched into this first double crochet I made. So let's see, again, we're turning, so we have to remember that our half double crochet third loop stitches are going to be towards our body rather than on the opposite side of our stitch. So let's get started with this one. So here it says chain 1 and turn. And in this round, so the previous round I didn't even point this out because we were working into a chain, but in this round we are skipping that first slip stitch. Like I said, I always start my rounds that way, but here we're going to just skip over this first connecting stitch and work right into our next stitch. So following the pattern, it says half double crochet, 6 third loop half double crochets, and a half double crochet. So there's my first regular half double crochet, and now we're going to start with our third loop half double crochets, and it's a little bit harder. So right here it's a little bit harder because this one that I'm working into is a double crochet, and that third loop still is there. It's just a little bit harder to pull out. So you can see it really easily on our half double crochets, but our third loop on our double crochets is this little piece right in there. So you kind of gotta like go in and out. I like to catch it with the top of my hook. Yarn over, there's our third loop half double crochet into a double crochet. That's a lot easier into other half double crochets to work them. So how many did I say? 6, right? Yeah. If I get stuck, it's probably because I'm working into a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and oops, goodness. Let me pull that out from the camera for a second so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Here's 6. Okay, so now we need a regular half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. Regular, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet, and 6 third loop half double crochets. We're almost repeating ourselves here. Are we? Yeah, we are. I should have made that a repeat. Anyways. Okay. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 third loops. There's our regular, and we have another half double crochet right here. So then, where are we? Half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and 2 half double crochets. Oops. Sorry if I'm not very chatty. My kids are in bed while I'm filming this. Okay, so now we're right up against our little fan shape here. And our next step says to chain 2, and we're gonna do 4 half double crochets together twice. So each of our 4 double crochets will join together. So let's chain 2, and here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's almost like a big puff stitch or a popcorn stitch, but we're not going to do a joining chain. And then let's do the second one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over and pull through all of those loops. And then we have to do chain 2 and 2 half double crochets. And we're not skipping anything. So that looks like something, but that's basically that last double crochet got stretched, so that's not a chain space. So really, again, we're working to the left. Oops, sorry about that. My yarn got stuck. So we're working to the left, and that's the little space I want to work into for my 1 and 2 half double crochets. And the last step is just chain 1, skip 1. So pretty straightforward. So now we're going to repeat everything between the parentheses, so half double crochet, 6 third loop, on and on. And if you see, like anytime we do a join, they always want to pop out towards you. If you feel like it now, you can, but this guy's going to go out, so it has a nice 3D effect on the right side of our work. Let me do one more quick repeat of this, and then I will show you all what it's supposed to look like at the end of this round. And if we look at our pattern again, now we have, it is a dead end, I was right. I already knew. So our maze is kind of going up and over and down, and we get lost in there, it's a dead end. That was our 6 third loops right there with a half double crochet and a regular half double crochet. Those are like clear paths in your maze. And again, I'm trying to get the shadows just right so you can see it. These two sections mirror each other. That chain 1 space is going to land right on top of your front post double crochets. Our other chain 1 spaces closer to our like teardrop shape are going to go right over these double crochets that we made in the last round, and those are going to add on a bit taller too. So this is our teardrop shape. Those chain 2s just allow enough space for this guy to pop up really nice and 3-dimensionally. So there is round 76. So I know I could go on with the rest of this round, but I'm hoping that just going through these last few rounds together, that maybe the rest of this will be a little bit easier. I don't want to film a full tutorial for this because I feel like it's just a lot of repeats, and I think the things that were tripping you guys up hopefully were addressed between, you know, round 74 and 75. If that's not the case and this is still, you know, really tough for the majority of you guys, I'm happy to film more of this round, but you all have been doing so well with the rest of the pattern. And I look forward to seeing chapter 9 from you guys, and we're almost wrapped up, so thank you so much. Bye.